we have renounced the worldly ways. Are we to then subscribe to some other set of dogmas? The whole purpose is to be free. Why should we let a robe tie us down then? There was a man, I may have narrated this story before. I was coming down from the Himalayas, the eastern Himalayas, after sadhana. I sat in this shared taxi where other people sit. And he was in the back and I was in the front. He said, "Swamiji, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure, you're being very kind. You're asking before asking. Normally people just fire questions, so you go ahead, be my guest." And he said, "Why are there so many gods in Hindu religion?" I said, "Who told you there are so many gods in Hindu religion?" He said, "Well, if you go to a Hindu person's house or if you go to their temple, there are so many gods there." I said, "If you wear a new shirt and you go out, do you become a new person or are you the same person?" He said, "Well, I'm the same person, obviously." I said, "There are different portraits of the same person. If we believe that God is in everybody, then who's to say that you are not as God as the one up there? There is no real proof." I mean, world's a funny place. Buddha said there is no God. And people said, "You are our God." How much more ironic could it get? Because people want to worship wax figures, perfectly cut out. I said, if you get a little banged up, you go and treat yourself, but if an idol is damaged, you dispose it off, get the perfect one. And then this guy said, he said, "I was a Hindu earlier." I said, "Good for you." He said, "Then I became a Christian." I said, "Even better." And he said, "Really?" He said, "I just find peace this way." I said, "No problem." And I said, "Now it's my time to ask you a question, my turn." He said, I said, "You were born a Hindu?" He said, "Yes." I said, "That means everything you did as a Hindu was not your own discovery. It was somebody's invention, maybe discovery, we don't know, but it was manufactured truth you bought into. Somebody said, in that temple there is a statue of God, you prostrated. Somebody said, oh, this is the goddess, the Devi, you worshipped. You did what others told you to do." He said, "Yes." And I said, "So you were living in a set of dogmas?" He said, "That's exactly why I quit the religion." I said, "Now, have you seen Christ?" I said, "Have you seen Christ yet? Jesus Christ." He said, "No." I said, "So all you've done is you've moved from one set of dogmas to the other. Earlier somebody convinced you, according to some theory, that that is God. You believed him. And then you could not, and you changed your mind, and somebody else more impressive came along and convinced you that this is God. And you believed him. Tell me, what is your own discovery? What have you discovered?" Most philosophies are like infomercials. When you watch an infomercial first, at first you think, who on earth buys such a product? It's rubbish, ridiculous. This product can never sell. But they know exactly what sells. Give it time. And watch it 10-15 times, and the 16th time you think, you know what? It's not such a bad idea. Watch it another 4 or 5 times, you might think, maybe I should give it a try. If you give enough time and you don't force somebody, you can get anybody acclimatized to any idea. Take the most absurd theory and give it time, and you will find enough subscribers. But that is going round and round and round and round in the circles. The whole challenge, the whole task, the only goal is to come out of the circle. So you can see trees from woods. So you can see yourself. You can buy the finest mirror. If it's covered with a piece of cloth. $1 million diamond studded mirror covered with a $5 cloth. It won't render any reflection. So you may have $1 million heart or $1 billion soul, or your net worth may be $1 trillion. If you're covered by anything at all, you won't be able to see yourself. The whole goal is to somehow uncover yourself. That's all there is. Not much more to it. If you love somebody, in how many different ways can you possibly say to them, I love you? There are only so many ways. You could show with your gestures, and they want you to keep showing them all your life. That's a separate issue. But that's all. So what I've told you is, that's all there is. Now, of course, I have to keep saying it in different ways, so the message hits home. But this is the only truth. You just have to uncover yourself. You just have to stop and see yourself and ask yourself the most fundamental question: where am I heading? Is this where I want to be? Is this where I want to go? And then make a decision accordingly. There is no more to it. If God could really interfere in your lives, if He was truly somebody who can change the course of your destiny, of all the reincarnations, the greatest prophets, the greatest gods who walked on our planet, if you look at the times they actually were here, they were some of the most horrific times. The way they were treated. Krishna could not stop Mahabharata. He went as a messenger of peace and said, just give 5 villages to these Pandavas and keep everything else. But he could not. So you alone can stop yourself. But you would only do that if you know where you're going, and that's not where you want to go.